Hello. Just a quick word. Today is the election in America, in the USA. And I've kept quiet for too long. I'm British and we're having a lot of problems here. And we need help because we're in a sinking mire, really. Then we hear of this sad tale about a squirrel that was put down by local government bureaucracy who says they were just following the rules. And we know who else said that. And there's a party that believes that you can kill babies right up to term. And when you were at these events, you were allowed to go in to have an abortion. They had vans outside. I wasn't going to say anything because church and state I don't do. I'm a Christian person who believes in God's love and grace. But I believe in God's love and grace, and I believe it's for all. At the end of Mark, it says, go and proclaim the gospel to all creatures, not to all men, to all creatures. And yes, it's sad that an animal's been put down, but it's also sad that women's fetuses, by the word fetus, where does fetus come from? Well, the late 14th century, comes from the late 14th century. And it can mean egg or new creature in the womb. It's found, though, in Latin and Greek words, and it moved into early English, purely technical terms. In Latin, it's the word fetus. But as early as the 4th century and as late as the 16th century and beyond, it has meant a life in the womb. It's as simple as that. You can look up. You can read it in the 14th century in Horace's Germania quis horrida parterit fetus. And it's there as that definition. Words don't change meaning overnight. It's a life in the womb, as simple as that. To kill a child in the womb, to me, is evil. And I call it a child because that is what it is. It's that simple. But I also believe that people going around killing animals are evil too. What I mean are those people that just kill animals for cruelty's sake or following the rules. Remember where we heard that one before? That's what I'm talking about. I don't think that one outshines the other, only in priority. A human life is more important than an animal life. So we have people who are willing to kill animals and willing to murder people in the womb and are talking about murdering older people. Now, that's not happened yet, but the doors are opening slowly for that. And I'm an older person, and I'm not scared of that because I know where I'm going. But people who put death forward as the main teaching take away from Christ, who said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody comes to the Father but through me. That the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. I come to bring life and life more abundantly. We've got governments, we've got leaders who would destroy innocence for the sake of promoting their agenda. And I don't have to go further than that. In all sorts of ways. Anything that goes out of its way to destroy innocence is evil. There was a king 2,000 years ago that tried to destroy a baby born in Bethlehem. Look up Migdal Adair, the Tower of the Flock. Jesus wasn't born in an inn. He was born where the sheep that were going to be used for temple sacrifice was born. It says nothing about an inn. That's just a man-made tradition. But I digress. But that baby was able to escape. But instead, a few innocents were killed. They're still trying to kill the innocents today in various ways. Do you want to be part of a system that does that? Or just don't care anymore? If people want to have me for saying this, that's okay. I'm pro-life. I'm pro-innocence. I'm also a prophet, and I see the world going to hell in a handcart over the next few years. We can put a stay to it by voting for the right person in America, and that happens to be Donald Trump. I don't like Trump. I think he's bombastic and prideful, but I understand what he stands for, and he stands for goodness and the protection of innocence. So I see this for America and the world. If Trump doesn't get in, we'll have years and years of governmental pressure, governmental authority, as bad as what we had in the 30s and 40s, maybe even worse. If Trump does get in, however, there will be a stay. It will be a time of bringing the country together, hopefully. But don't get me wrong. Over the next few years, over the next 10, 20 years, there will be this tug of war going on between good and evil. Evil's not going to disappear, and good is going to stay in its present form as it always has, tugging away, trying to bring people back. The only way back is through Christ, is through Jesus Christ. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever should believe in him should not perish but have everlasting life. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever should believe in him should have everlasting life. This is your time, America. Vote wisely. Vote for the stay. This isn't God's judgment. This is man's consequences of not listening to God. So know this, that there will be a stay, that God will work regardless, but then dark times will come again. And there may be another stay, but over the next few years, we're not going to go back to normal. We're going to be in the new normal, which is those who stand for good, for Christ, or those that stand for evil. You're making a choice today. Choose death or choose life. Choose wisely. And as my wife reminded me today, we've not just got the future of bombs and terrorism, but there's also cybersecurity, having your bank account closed, or having your business seized, or having people given false information about you. All that is out there too. It's a mental, emotional, and physical threat. We have real terrorism, but it's from those that work for the enemy. And that's worth noting. Do you remember what the Lord said? He would never leave us or forsake us. He has redeemed us. He has called us by name, and we are his. A good note to end with. That's it, folks. God bless.